What's up YouTube? My name is Christopher Moore, and in the last video we took a look at how to query for users in our database, and now let's go ahead and create a relationship with our user model with a new job model. We'll define it as a one-to-many relationship with our user, and we'll see how to query for that relationship in our GraphQL schema using Lighthouse. We'll also take a look at a common n+1 problem in GraphQL and how Lighthouse helps us resolve it. So let's get started. So for the sake of time, I went ahead and created a couple of files for us to help get us started. I created a migration for our jobs table. So we have a one-to-many relationship. So I have a foreign ID that points to our users table and a title for each job. I created a job seeder that will create 5 jobs for each user. And I created our job model itself. So next, let's go into our users model and define a relationship. So I'll say public function jobs. This has many jobs. All right, so we have our relationship in our Eloquent model. Now let's see how we define that inside of our Lighthouse schema. So first, I need to create the new job type, which will point to our job model. We have an ID and a title. And then I'm going to create a new jobs field that will turn a list of jobs. And for now, I'm going to create a manual resolver for this. So I'll say field resolver. I'll give it the namespace app GraphQL types user type at jobs. All right, so let's go ahead and create that class. So inside of our GraphQL folder here, create types, user type, namespace, and user type is class, function jobs. All right, so our resolvers receive our parent type, which in this case is going to be a user. And since we have our user, we could just simply return user jobs all to return all the users that belong to this particular, or sorry, to return all the jobs that belong to this particular user. All right, so now that we have this set up, I'm going to run PHP Artisan. Actually, we've got to migrate our database and reseed it. And now I can go ahead and boot up our server. Okay, so inside of Playground, we have our list of users. Now we're going to add our jobs to this query. And for each job, I need the title. So I'll run it. As many all. Oh, okay. So instead of all, I should have get. Rerun that. There we go. All right, so for each user, we'll see that we have 5 jobs. Okay, however, if you take a close look at this, in our query, we have a list of users, right? And we have 10. So for each user, we're going to fire this resolver, which means that we're actually going to make 10 round trips to our database. And just to show this, I have a query log set up as middleware that's going to actually log out each query that we make to our database. So I'm going to uncomment this out. So this will run for each request that our server receives. Go ahead and make sure that this is cleared out as well. And let's go ahead and refresh. And you'll see here for each user, we're going to make a round trip to the database for jobs, which in this case isn't horrible, but you can see that like if you were to nest this again, so maybe for each job we have a list of assignees or users that have been assigned to it, then we would have an n+1 problem here. So for each job we would create an additional query. So Lighthouse provides some relationship directives. And here we can just use the has many. So again, what Lighthouse is going to do is it's going to batch up all of our users, wait until they're all resolved, and then it's going to create a basically like an ear-loaded query and load up all the jobs for our users. So now if I save this, clear this out, and we no longer need our user type class anymore, and I'm going to rerun the query, and now we can see that we got all of our jobs, but it only took us one round trip to the database for each user. All right, and in the next video, we'll go through pagination, which will come in handy so we don't have to get every single user inside of our database, or for each user, we don't need to grab every single job. We can ask for a particular account.